Two warnings for this video. One, none of these pictures are mine, okay? None of them are mine, okay? I did not draw any of these very talentedly. All I did was go to Google Images and copy and paste a bunch of stuff. The only thing that actually is mine are these lines right here. These little dots and lines, not the actual pictures. All those pictures go to credit to their respective, creators. And second warning, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched Steven Universe or any of the episodes, if you haven't watched some of the episodes, there are probably going to be some spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, please click away from this video once you've actually caught up with Steven Universe. Then come back to this video. Okay, there we go. Okay, I've been stalling for long enough. It is now time for me to explain all of this mess. Let's just start from the beginning, shall we? Here we have Rose Quartz. She is a gem. Obviously, she's got her little gem on her belly. And she goes through lots and lots of adventures that we don't really have the time for explaining. Somewhere around this time is where she meets this guy. His name is Greg Universe. Those two get together, they have fun, they do whatever, and then Rose gives up her physical form to create this little guy, whose name is Steven Quartz Universe. Look at him, he's little adorable. He's living with his dad in his dad's van, while the actual house that we know and love is being built. He's big enough to move into the house, he learns about his powers, he activates his shield, and later he meets this girl named Connie. And then, after those two being friends, he meets this lion guy who they met in a desert. Now, we know absolutely nothing about this lion. None whatsoever. He's a complete mystery to us. Those guys go on adventures and do whatever. I think it's around this time that we're at that, now, during the recording of this video, we haven't actually seen Malachite and, Alexandrite fight it off. That's only in, like, a sneak preview. It's not an actual official episode yet. So, let's just, it's around this area that we're at during the recording of this video. And then, after a while, after some, adventures, now this area in time is completely unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in this area of time. But somewhere along that line, the lion is taken away. I'll explain that in a later. Greg is also taken away. I'll explain that one later. He sees Connie die, and it's around that point in time where Steven goes through this, depression phase. He becomes more serious. He wants to stay away from humanity so that he doesn't get hurt again. And around this point, when he has reached his complete seriousness, he is taken back in time a few ways to right before Steven meets Lion. I have my own theory on how this time travel nonsense is done through a later video. But he goes back in time and he meets his younger self, and he is now disguised as a lion, and he's there to protect his younger self, but also to train himself for other stuff. And then, at around this time-ish, is when something happens and he gets knocked out, he loses his gem, and then he is taken back in time a long ways, and he tours around the country. And during his tour, he meets this woman named Rose. Those two get together. He sees Rose turn into Steven, all that nonsense, and then this little mess is complete unknown territory. I have no idea what happens after this area in time, where Lion goes missing, Greg goes missing, Connie dies, all that jazz. I don't know any of that nonsense. This is the line of Steven's Life. Rose pregnant, Rose turns into Steven, Steven grows up, Steven gets depressed, Steven turns into Lion, Lion turns into a younger Greg and loses his memory about who he is, and then he grows up, falls in love with himself, and the whole cycle starts all over again. But the reason why I think this hypothesis might be true is because why would Rose give up her entire... Why would she give all that up? Her memories, her powers, all that, creating a blank slate for her, all for a human. Why would she do that? And then, another question is, where did this lion come from? Huh? How does he know so much about Steven and Rose and all that jazz? It's because he's done this before. Steven and Connie try to ride Lion, or Steven's future self, to the movie theater, but Lion, unfortunately, has other plans. So, in this episode, they try to go to the movie theater, and then Steven says something.
Lion isn't trained very well, but I'm not trained very well either.
And Lion is like, oh yeah, that training place. I could take him there before Pearl takes him there. It would help him train a little bit. This video belongs to Scampy. I don't own any of this. The entire video for Steven Universe Theory, What is Lion, is down in the description. I don't know. I don't own any of this. Okay? Just want to make that very clear.
So Lion's on the beach eating a rock bug or whatever when Steven says this.
Lion isn't trained very well, but I'm not trained very well either.
Look at Lion's reaction to that. He's thinking, oh my god, Steven's right, he's not trained at all. But I know where I can take him to fix that.
I forgot all about that training place, so I could take him to a place where he can better train himself. So he goes over to there, they mess around a bit, and then they fight this monster guy. They end up fighting, and then Steven wants to go home, and then...
Look at Lion's face. They don't show close-ups like this if they don't mean anything.
They show this close-up of him having, like, a little flashback moment right there, so he gets Steven and Connie to a safe spot away from the thing. Then they go back to the movie theater, and this guy comes back. And Lion is really calm about this because it's not just this.
And Lion's clearly not worried because, after all, this is just part of training.
It's not just part of training. He's not worried about it because he has been through this before. And then when Steven needs its help, he's like, dude, finally. Okay, let me show you an awesome trick that I learned from my future self.
Lion, what do we do?
And Lion's like, dude, finally. And out pops the sword. So we're starting to see Lion's purpose develop. As much as the crystal gems can teach Steven about fighting and gem history, Lion is here to teach Steven about himself.
Lion is here to teach Steven about himself because Lion has been through all of this before. Lion is teaching Steven about himself because Lion learned about himself while he was Steven. he learned about himself from the lion from an earlier time. God, I've been recording for 22 minutes. I'll do the editing thing later. Where is it? I'm trying to... Oh, there it is. In episode 45, season 1, Pearl takes Steven to a special place that belonged to Rose Quartz after a lion finds a scabbard for Rose's sword. Pearl takes Steven to the Rose Quartz temple place when Lion has already shown Steven that. Lion teaches Steven about the basics of the temple, just not the entire story behind it. Lion leaves that for Pearl to explain. There is an inevitability that Connie here is going to die, okay? We know that from Steven's birthday, sort of. Let me see. With Steven's birthday, season 2, episode 23, we know that Connie is going to grow at a faster rate than Steven is, because, of Steven's powers. With Steven's powers, he is going to live a lot longer life than Connie is. It's an undeniable fact that all of us are very sad to wait for. We don't know how Connie is going to die, but we do know that Connie is in fact going to die, whether it's on the battlefield of old age or of a sickness. The sickness thing, I'm pretty sure, is the least likely of the problems, but we all know that Connie is going to die eventually. I know that this little timeline of mine is a bit sad and gloomy, but this little area of time that we have no idea what it could be about, I have another theory on how I can get a happy ending for Steven. But we'll have to save that theory for yet another video. I'm sorry to leave you guys at a cliffhanger, but at least I explained the first theory. But at least I'm keeping you on your toes with another possible theory. Well, it's not really possible. I actually do have a theory on how I can get Steven a happy ending for this theory. It's a theory within a theory. Dun dun dun! Well, I guess that's it for my theory on this for now. I must say that it's been a great day, but now is the time for me to say a goodbye. A goodbye.